What's going on, everybody? Matt Malatesta here, VYPE Media. Eastside Catholic continues to roll. They go 2-0. Big game last week, scored 48 points with Coach Dominic Daste. Just, Coach, what did you take out of last week's game that you're like, hey, this worked, and what were you happy about coming out of last week?
I think the biggest thing for us is our execution, I think, improved. By no stretch of the imagination are we where we want to be, but I think we took a step in the right direction. I think that from an offensive standpoint, our quarterback was seeing things in a timely fashion, reacting, processing in a timely manner. And so those are all things we're excited about. Obviously, there's some throws I think he could probably want or wants to take back, even if you ask him. And so, but as a team, we were seeing things correctly. The team we just played was a team that pressured a lot. And so for us on the offensive side of the ball, to see those things, adjust, get the ball out quickly, were all things that were a point of emphasis. And so it was good to see us execute from that standpoint. In terms of the defensive side of the ball, they had an option element to them in terms of triple option and stuff like that. And so Bishop Blanchett and Coach Sally do a great job in terms of getting their kids prepared and ready. And so the previous year we did not play well against them. And so it was a point of emphasis for us to just come out and play well. And it was our first home game. And so, it was nice to be home, coming back off the road and being in a short week. But to come home and play in front of our home fans and students, it was a big deal. But overall, execution was really, really good, on both sides of the ball. And so I just feel like overall we took a step in the right direction.
If you were giving out game balls on offense, who would it be? On defense, who would it be?
I think we have our two running backs are pretty special. I think Nick Jones and Caden Peely both had a really great night running the ball. Titan McNeil, who's our big tight end, had multiple catches. I want to say 8 catches for 90-plus yards, somewhere in there. And then Titan also had a really good night on defense. He plays defensive end for us as well. He had 2 sacks, I believe, 2 sacks for loss or 2 tackles for loss. And so really played well. And so I think on the offensive side of the ball there, Wasi Lugalobi, who you guys got to meet last week, was running around like his hair was on fire and had a big game in terms of tackles and just doing things right. And so, I think the guys who stood out for me were those guys, and including our quarterback, Luca, who I think is getting better each week.
You have kind of a weird situation this week, had a game scheduled, but you're going to have a week off before going in and playing your, rival O'Day. Just talk about that situation where, you kind of lose a week of football.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. The team we were preparing to play has encountered some injuries, and so for safety reasons, they're choosing not to play us because of lack of players. And so, we work really hard, whether it be our coaches, our team, our community, in terms of preparing for games and going out and getting ready to play. And so that opportunity is not going to be offered to us this week. And so it's unfortunate. Our community rallies around our athletics programs here in general, but football is something we enjoy to do, and our kids and families. And so it's just unfortunate we don't get to play. I think for us as a program, there's only one way to get better at football, and that's playing it. And so for that opportunity to be taken from us, it's not something we're thrilled about, but, adapt and overcome, and we'll work through it. One of the small positives is that Friday night we're going to go play bingo in the old folks' home with the team, come back here and have some pizza, and we're putting a big screen on the field, and we're going to have movie night and karaoke night with the kids and families. And so that'll be fun, and see who can sing the best out there. But in terms of us playing, I think it's a tough pill to swallow, because you put in a lot of work and effort year round, and you're only guaranteed so many games. And so you want to play as much of those as possible. And for us to refine and perfect our craft, you got to be on the field to do so. And so we're trying to do that through practice this week and scrimmage and prepare for the next obstacle.
I know those guys they get tired of hitting each other.
They do. They do.
They do. But hey, great idea. I love the team building and the community building. That's really cool to kind of pivot and, make lemonade out of lemons. That's what y'all do as coaches across the country. Which brings us to O'Day. Just tell me what your thoughts on that. Just you're going to have some more time to prepare. They're a big rival, superpower. Just thoughts on getting ready for them.
Yeah, to me, they're the best team in the state right now. They're the 3A state champs. They eliminated us from the playoffs last year. And so, our kids will come in hungry as they always do to play O'Day. And Coach Kohler's going to have his team ready to go. And I think I've said this before, but Coach Kohler's forgotten more football than I know, right? And so he's a crafty old guy, and he'll have his team ready to go. And I know they had a tough one at the beginning of the season, but they'll right that ship and get ready to go. And so it'll be exciting. We're going to play at their place, and there's no love lost between the two teams, but it's a chance for us to go out and just get better next week and make sure we're playing to our standards and expectations.
What's cool is you can also get some time maybe to catch a little college football. Of course, you were in the college game for many years.
Yeah.
What is different about, coaching college football when you were doing it a couple of years back to now?
For me, I think the biggest adjustment from being a college coach to a high school coach, and I think hopefully I'm answering this correctly, is the time you spend with your kids, right? Like you can be a little bit more intricate in what you install and what you do. And you own their schedule at the college level. Whereas here, it's just different, especially with our school. We have kids coming from a few miles away. And so we have hard outs in terms of time. Obviously, kids have other obligations. They don't always control their transportation or schedule. And so that's always kind of tough. But, I think it is less business-based, even though high school is becoming that, or is that in some places. But I do enjoy the sense of community here at the high school level and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, what do you miss most about the college game?
I think the amount in which you can prepare, right? Like I was fortunate enough to be at UNLV in Las Vegas, the University of Montana, and it's pure football, right? It is obviously there's some recruiting in there, and even that has changed since I've been out of college coaching. But during the season, it's 5 a.m. to 10 at night, even though it's just some long hours. It's the part of the football program I enjoy of watching film and doing some of that. Whereas now, just in my role now, some of the administrative things I have to deal with before I can get to film.
Well, all right. Well, have a good week off. I know y'all aren't looking forward to that. I mean, that kind of was a weird situation, but y'all are just getting through it. So we'll catch up next week as y'all get prepared for O-Day. Circle. This game is circle on the calendar for sure.
Yeah, we're excited and we're ready. We're ready to go out and hopefully get our community and win.
And next week we want to see who had the best voice inside of Eastside Catholic.
We do have some singers on our team. Some of our linemen are invested.
I love it. I love it. All right, Coach. Eastside Catholic in the state of Washington. Dominic Daste does one of the best jobs in the business up there on the Pacific Northwest. Excited to see how that plays out as the playoffs come. They're coming quick. They're coming quick. All right. This is Matt with VYPE. We'll see y'all at the games.
Thank you, guys.